I have a friend. This is how I spend my Friday nights. Kind of had to overcome your fears in the movie with the cougar. Times have changed since coming to the Trop, and it used to be a series that probably was harder to gear up for, but now that the Rays have had a good season, this is a huge big deal for them. How do the Yankees view this series now?
It's always fun for us to come here. I mean, the fans really show up. They got a tremendous amount of support here as a comparison, like you said, a few years ago. So it makes it fun and exciting for us when we come.
Talkett mentioned he's going to move Marty St. Louis around a little bit, or has been moving him to different lines. Yeah. Do you think that works? Do you think that's a good idea?
Well,
why is he a player? He's the player to do that with.
Well, with Marty it is, because Marty can do that, and a lot of guys can't.
You have to send that message soon, like when a puppy pees on the carpet, you have to bad dog, right then, take care of it. This is the set for the State Farm NFL Matchup Show. It's the show that NFL players and coaches will watch. That's because the producers and talent spend in excess of 100 hours analyzing game film and using it in their analysis. Snoop, I've never seen a head coach make their boys chase them down and give them a Gatorade shower like you did. You make them work for everything, huh?
I hate Gatorade baths. I mean, I like winning, but that's the part of the game I don't like. I mean, it's cold. Have you ever been hit with some Gatorade? That's cold, baby.
He looked at what Sam Bradford had been doing all season and noticed an opportunity for blitzing. He hadn't been blitzed a lot, so not only did he take his Gators defense that was already strong, but he put in some new wrinkles. Carl Crawford's base stealing is a real threat to opposing teams' pitchers. And I've been talking to some of his teammates, and apparently his stealing is habit forming. It's carrying into his off-the-field life as well.
Actually last year he stole my girlfriend. But, I was a rookie first-year guy. I mean, what was I really going to do? I mean, he's Carl Crawford, so.
What people really don't know about the other night, the game with the lineup cards got messed up. He actually stole the real lineup card.
He stole my walk-up song this year. I wanted to come up to Young Jeezy, and he took it right out from underneath me. So, I talked to Joe about it. Joe said he's got the seniority, so just have to get along with it.
He steals. That's just the bottom line. I hate to say it, but he stole the 4 letters of my name. I might as well go by O's.
I had him over last year. Stole my grandmother's green bean casserole recipe. I hear he's serving at all of his functions that people come over and stuff. And so he's just kind of in the habit of stealing everything right now.
Roxanne, are you ready yet? Come on, let's go. We have to do this now.
Randy, I'm ready, but I don't know where my microphone is. Now, looking at Yankees clubs of the past, the championship teams, there's always been a quality not only of superb talent, but also a high level of professionalism and almost a business-like quality. And now it seems the clubhouse is a little different, but what are your observations of this year's clubhouse?
It's still the same. It's just guys are having fun. I think the more you win, the more fun you're going to have. And there's nothing wrong with having a good time while you're playing. We're between the lines, we're out there, we're working hard, we're trying to do our job, but it seems like we've been having a lot of fun, especially after the games.
Okay, this is a strictly hypothetical question, but if you were going to go on a mission to the moon and you were going to be in a spaceship with one of your teammates, who would you want with you on that trip?
I'd take a few of them.
Blake's tennis career has been influenced by his family. When you're with certain people and they bring out certain sides of your personality that only they can, especially someone close to you, what is it about you that only your dad could bring out?
I think my dad brought out, I still think I'm sometimes can be that immature, goofing around kid, but I think he brought out the real kid in me.
Hank, on that touchdown reception from Brett, you went in motion, you had a guy on you. How were you able to make that catch? Who does your mom like better, you or your brother? They always like one better than the other.
I'm going to say my brother.
Here's why the BCS doesn't want a playoff system, because then we wouldn't be talking about it. It's over. Hodge and Jaworski agree to disagree on who will win the big game. One thing they do see eye to eye on, though, is that this is their favorite show.
As Roxanne Wilder reports, despite his obstacles, Alston is attempting to make golf history.
I usually hit 400 to 600 golf balls a day, chip and putt for an hour each, and try to play 18 holes every day. On the days where I'm really grinding, I'll hit 600 or 800 golf balls a day and try to play 36 holes.
Donnie Alston works diligently at his game because he's attempting to make golf history.
I roll the ball really well. It saves me a lot of sin. Pretty good around the greens. Chipping, short game is really solid. I don't hit it crooked too often, so I'm not the longest driver of the golf ball, but I generally hit it in play. I think the biggest thing, though, is sheer will.
Alston is training to become the first amputee player on any professional tour. 28 years ago, he would have never imagined even making it this far.
One night I decided I was going to jump out the window at the hospital. I decided I was going to crawl out that window and just be done with it. I got halfway out the window and realized that my hips weren't going to go through that window, so I was kind of stuck. While I was hanging out the window, I looked down and saw a guy operating his wheelchair with his chin. I don't know, about an hour later, he rolled up into my room. And he's typing on a computer keyboard with a pencil in his mouth with, you know, bags hanging off of him, just a mess. No use of his arms or his legs, slobbering, you know, the guy was a mess. And he types into his keyboard, "It's a great day to be alive."
Alston was in the VA hospital recovering from an Army training accident. Even after more than 12 surgeries, doctors were unable to save his leg.
After I got out of the hospital, I had these issues with depression and what was I going to do and all that mess. So I spent most of my days in the dark in my apartment, wouldn't come out, wouldn't eat, wouldn't do anything. And my mom came by my apartment and chewed me out pretty good for my crappy attitude, and that she didn't raise a quitter. She didn't raise anybody that was gonna, you know, just sit there and do nothing the rest of his life. And told me that the next morning she was gonna pick me up and take me to the driving range, and I'd better be ready. Hit a few balls, fell down a few times, but then I realized, you know, being outside wasn't all that bad. Probably wasn't ever gonna play golf again, still probably wasn't gonna ever play good again, but it was kind of cool to get outside. And the next thing I knew, I was out there 2 days a week, then 4 days a week, then 6 days a week, and then I got the addiction to golf back.
Donnie Alston found his way back to golfing for the pure enjoyment and love of the game. Someone recognized that he had special talent. He received unsolicited help from Brad Bryant, the 2007 Senior Tour champion. Bryant wanted to sponsor him so he could make his own push for the Senior Tour.
He said he thought he saw something special. They were willing to hook me up with David Ledbetter Academy for lessons, give me a little bit of money every month to help me pay my bills. And when you start getting support from those kind of guys, and they're saying, you know, it's worth a try, and Gary Players, you know, writing your personal notes, and it's like, okay, it's worth a try.
Alston's disability creates additional challenges on the course, beginning with his balance.
Amputees sometimes deal with something called phantom pain, where you feel pain in a limb that doesn't exist. For me, it's actually a huge benefit when I'm having some phantom pain. And I sometimes feel like I have to widen my stance a little more than I would like to help keep me stable and on balance.
Phantom pain is one issue. Real pain is another.
They built this little section on the bottom to simulate human fat, to give me a little cushioning on the bottom of the bony part of my stump, basically to cover me for pain. Keep a pretty healthy first aid kit in the bag all the time. I have, fortunately not lately, but I have had to put stitches in myself. But after a while, you kind of get used to all these little things that you may have to deal with.
4 years from now, are we going to be here covering you at the Outback?
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. That is the goal. It would not hurt my feelings one bit if that were my first event with them. Being here at home would be awesome. It's a course I like. Your friends and your family will be there. Knowing that all of you will probably be there will be really cool too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.